retirement. Maybe retirement. I think I need to take some time. I really want to help the kids out in the boxing world.
I landed a good amount of punches, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what the judges see sometimes, but it's all good. He did his thing.
No, I knew it was going to be a tough fight. I knew it was going to be a good fight. And
Teofimo Lopez announces retirement after brutal defeat to Shakur Stevenson. Teofimo Lopez has stunned the boxing world by announcing his retirement following a hard-fought loss to Shakur Stevenson. He openly admits that pursuing another fight would limit his focus on new ventures, signaling a bold move away from the ring. While reflecting on the fight, Lopez praises Stevenson's skills, calling him a sharp, disciplined, and technically brilliant fighter who left no room for error. This retirement marks a shocking turning point after a battle where Stevenson's poise and precision shone above all.
Want to retire from boxing at the age of 25, having just won the title at 140 pounds?
Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to I have so many projects and so many ideas that I really want to put into display now. And I don't think with me staying in course of training and always focusing on the next fight, it's going to give me the opportunity to do it. So
Teofimo Lopez struggles after brutal defeat to Shakur Stevenson. Gervonta Davis breaks down how Lopez came in sloppy, hands down, forcing risky moves, while his father's overbearing antics added pressure. After such a decisive and disciplined performance from Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo now turns to retirement, seeking sympathy. It's a humbling moment that highlights Stevenson's skill and composure, leaving Lopez reflecting on a night he clearly couldn't control.
I think he just thought so much, like, the guy was a slouch. And he went in there and with his hands down. And he tried to force, there's so much things he did wrong in that fight that made him. Then he was too big-headed. For one, his father was too big.
Floyd Mayweather watches the situation unfold with a knowing eye. He subtly points to the drama surrounding Teofimo Lopez, suggesting that his father's constant interference and over-the-top guidance may have played a role in pushing Teofimo toward an early retirement after his brutal loss to Shakur Stevenson. Meanwhile, Shakur's calm, clinical performance only amplifies how unprepared and mismanaged Lopez truly appeared in the ring.
I'm not going to sit right here and bash him or bash his dad. I wish him and his dad nothing but the best. Some people was telling me that he wanted to move up to 140. If that's the best for your fighter, then that's what you should.
Kell Brook was completely taken aback by Teofimo Lopez's shocking performance. From the very first round, Lopez looked out of sync, forcing punches and letting frustration dictate his actions. His father's overbearing presence only seemed to make things worse, creating distractions instead of guidance. What should have been a showcase turned into a harsh wake-up call, highlighting the dangers of overconfidence and lack of composure in a high-stakes fight.
We're obviously losing all the belts. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, no, I did not see that coming. You know, with me, what said Lopez had beat Lomachenko, nobody gave any chance. But I could not believe it that he'd lost, to him. But his dad did. What a stupid thing his dad would tell him to go out and just to go out and just look how we're going.
Paulie Malignaggi acknowledges Lopez's past achievements, but doesn't shy away from the reality of his latest loss. Despite being a former favorite with a strong career, Teofimo's defeat was a harsh reality check. Malignaggi points out that setbacks like this force any fighter to reflect, recalibrate, and make tough decisions. Lopez's retirement announcement after such a defeat underscores how profoundly the loss affected him, and it's clear that stepping away is as much about preserving his legacy as it is about moving on to new ventures.
Good job, can't take anything away. Lopez was the favorite. Lopez has been super impressive in his career. I'm sure he'll be back. He's got to probably, we all have to assess things after a loss, but he's young, he'll be back.
Kell Brook is visibly stunned by how uncharacteristically off Lopez looked in the ring. Emotion seemed to take over his strategy, leaving him swinging recklessly and abandoning disciplined tactics. Brook highlights how this combination of overconfidence and poor decision-making, amplified by his father's influence, cost Lopez dearly. What was expected to be a competitive outing quickly became a lesson in composure and mental preparedness at the elite level, showing just how devastating one bad night can be for even the most accomplished fighter. So,
both amazing fighters, but you know, I put Lopez up. Look at him, he's an unbelievable fighter. I was so shocked that, you know, he got the loss in the weekend.
Right, so do you think it was completely wrong tactics? Do you think he fought with too much emotion?
Too much emotion, you know. I think they got too much emotion. He went in there and he was swinging for the houses, you know. He was really going to take your head off, and he should have. When you go for the knockout, you don't really get the knockout, you know. You don't really get it, you know. Sometimes you do, but like I say, if you box and stick to the game plan, what they call.
Caleb Plant emphasizes Lopez's heart and determination despite the overwhelming loss. Even in defeat, Lopez demonstrated strength and courage, giving fans a glimpse of his fighting spirit. Plant's commentary acknowledges that while Teofimo's performance fell short, it's a reminder of the brutal realities of elite boxing. His retirement announcement following this defeat reflects both respect for the sport and a pivot toward new challenges, marking the end of a chapter, but also leaving a lasting impression of a fighter who never backed down.
And, you know, he put on a hell of a fight. And he's a hell of a fighter, he's a hell of a champion.
Paulie Malignaggi highlights how Lopez's lack of discipline cost him in this fight. Unlike his past performances, he appeared reckless and overconfident, underestimating his opponent's hunger and focus. At this level, even the smallest missteps are punished, and Teofimo learned that the hard way. His defeat illustrates the fine line between talent and tactical awareness, showing that raw skill alone isn't enough when facing a highly motivated, technically sound opponent like Shakur Stevenson, who exploited every opening with precision and consistency.
I don't want to say overlooked, but I definitely felt Lopez fought a much more undisciplined fight than he did against Lomachenko. I thought with Lomachenko, he was so savvy. Yeah, and I don't know if he you know, it's a lack of respecting your opponent, which is something that sometimes when you're younger you do. Well, you can't overlook anybody at this level. You know, when somebody's fighting for a world championship, they are very hungry, and they're always gonna come at their moment.
Devin Haney points out that Lopez never seemed fully engaged or focused in the fight. Even before the opening bell, his attention was divided, a sign that he wasn't mentally in the zone. This lack of focus translated to sloppy execution and a failure to adapt under pressure. At elite levels, mental sharpness is as crucial as physical skill, and Lopez's off night allowed Shakur Stevenson to control the pace and impose his game, ultimately leading to a decisive and humbling defeat.
At the end of the day, if you look at interviews before the fight, I was saying that, you know, something looked off about him. He looked like he just wasn't really focused on the fight. He said my name before the fight more than he even said.
Keyshawn Davis praises Shakur Stevenson for his masterful performance, highlighting his composure, timing, and tactical intelligence. Even against a fighter of Teofimo Lopez's caliber, Stevenson remained calm and methodical, showcasing why he's considered one of the top talents in the division. Davis's admiration underscores the contrast between a focused, disciplined champion and an opponent overwhelmed by emotion and pressure, demonstrating how preparation and mental fortitude define outcomes at the highest level of boxing.
God, take your seat.
Keep boxing.
Antonio Tarver applauds the overall quality of the fight, while acknowledging Shakur Stevenson's dominance. Lopez fought with heart but was ultimately outclassed, unable to match Stevenson's speed and ring. Tarver emphasizes that finishing a fight decisively takes skill, composure, and timing, all of which Stevenson displayed perfectly. This win not only cements Shakur's status as a top-tier fighter, but also highlights how Teofimo's retirement announcement reflects the toll of such a lopsided defeat and the harsh realities of elite boxing.
Bro, it's easy to get a guy hurt, but it's great when you finish it. You feel me? The dude had an amazing night over here. He came all the way from the UK, bro.
Terrence Crawford breaks down how Shakur Stevenson completely controlled the fight. Lopez wasn't allowed to impose his own rhythm or box comfortably, forced to engage on Shakur's terms. Stevenson's composure, timing, and defensive mastery made every attack calculated, leaving Lopez swinging without impact. This wasn't just a tactical win, it was a statement. Shakur imposed his will, demonstrating that his style is adaptable and relentless, combining patience with sudden bursts of aggression. Crawford's analysis highlights the brutal reality. Lopez couldn't execute his game plan, and Stevenson's dominance forced him into mistakes that ultimately sealed the outcome of this decisive, career-defining match.
He wasn't letting him do what he wanted in there. He wasn't letting him just box his way through the fight. So, you know what I mean? He had to stand there and fight him at times.
Antonio Tarver praises Stevenson for a complete brilliant performance. He stood toe-to-toe with a strong, dangerous opponent, showing heart, skill, and tactical intelligence. Tarver compares Shakur to legends like Pernell Whitaker and Floyd Mayweather, underlining his growing pound-for-pound reputation. Lopez, despite being formidable, was outclassed. Unable to match the technical and mental mastery Stevenson displayed. Tarver notes the added wrinkles in Stevenson's game, subtle adjustments, defensive reads, and precise counters that made the difference. This fight wasn't just a win, it was a showcase of Shakur's evolution into a truly elite all-around fighter, cementing his dominance in the division.
Just quickly on Shakur Stevenson tonight, they were sent up there. It was a brilliant performance. What did you make of it?
I wasn't surprised. I knew he had that in him. I wasn't. Check Tarver's takeout, bro. He did that shit, bro, and he showed the world that he was a pound-for-pound type of talent. You know, you got to start comparing him to guys like Pernell Whitaker. You got to start comparing him to guys like Floyd Mayweather because he's going about it the same way. But tonight, he put more of his heart on the line. He stood toe-to-toe with a beast. So it showed that he had a lot more wrinkles to his game. So I would say a complete performance from Shakur Stevenson.
Antonio Tarver praises Stevenson for a complete brilliant performance. He stood toe-to-toe with a strong, dangerous opponent, showing heart, skill, and tactical intelligence. Tarver compares Shakur to legends like Pernell Whitaker and Floyd Mayweather, underlining his growing pound-for-pound reputation. Lopez, despite being formidable, was outclassed. Unable to match the technical and mental mastery Stevenson displayed. Tarver notes the added wrinkles in Stevenson's game, subtle adjustments, defensive reads, and precise counters that made the difference. This fight wasn't just a win, it was a showcase of Shakur's evolution into a truly elite all-around fighter, cementing his dominance in the division.
He was, but at the same time, he was getting hit with little shots that he shouldn't have been getting hit with. And it looked good to the judges, you know, especially keeping somebody on the ropes and, you know, hitting them with the little shots, pressuring them, you know.
Chris Algieri praises Stevenson's volume and defensive skills. Physically strong for the weight class, Shakur combined endurance, timing, and technical savvy to dictate the fight. Lopez couldn't keep pace or exploit openings, facing a fighter who read his every move. On next, that Shakur's combination of aggression and defensive awareness makes him hard to challenge, especially against elite opposition. Even without watching every detail, Algieri recognizes the dominance on display, a fighter who neutralized his opponent, controlled the ring, and demonstrated championship-level strategy. Shakur's performance confirms he's more than just a skilled boxer. He's a tactical powerhouse capable of neutralizing threats while maintaining composure under pressure.
You know, he's a volume guy, but Shakur's got great defense. He's physically strong for the weight class, so not really surprised. I didn't watch it yet. Obviously, I was following the fights, but
You aren't surprised
did they say what the scores were? I didn't hear.
Paulie Malignaggi points out that Shakur's win shouldn't surprise anyone. His skill, discipline, and adaptability make him arguably the best lighter-weight fighter today. Lopez, despite his reputation, couldn't overcome Stevenson's precise technique and smart pacing. Malignaggi highlights that at this level, elite fighters exploit even the smallest lapses, and Shakur's focus ensured Lopez had no room to maneuver. The fight reinforced the reality that preparation, ring IQ, and composure matter more than raw talent alone. Shakur's performance solidified his position at the top of the division, leaving little doubt that he's a rising pound-for-pound contender whose victories are built on intelligence as much as power.